Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yo, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast with the weekly live stream where we hit all the top NFL storylines for the weekend, the week, and anything else as we're winding down this football season. Fantasy football regular season is over. Shout out to those who made it, and shout out to those who didn't. 7 leagues. I'm alive in about 5 of them out of the 7, but my 2 biggest money leagues, I am out like Flint, dude. So, again, it is what it is. You can't win them every year. A lot of things going on this weekend. We had some major upsets, more Cinderella stories, but we got to start, all right, with breaking news. Bill Belichick and the Bills will be no more. Absolutely true. So Bill Belichick has been giving the news. The Patriots have reportedly decided to part ways with the GOAT, Bill Belichick, following this season. I mean, I've covered this in detail in a few episodes back when they were sucking wind like 5 games ago. I honestly think that, look, it is time. His legacy has completely declined since the departure of Tom Brady from the Patriots. So he's had 1 winning season, and the rest have been losing seasons over and over again since the departure of Tommy. TB12 right now has been the guy that probably was the more valuable of that duel. Granted, there will be a statue outside of New England of Bill Belichick. It's just probably going to be like this small compared to the big statue of, like, Tom Brady. It is what it is. Breaking news, they finally decided. So Robert Kraft probably had a meeting with Bill at his favorite massage parlor in Jupiter, Florida, and broke the news to him. Shout out to my boy Jim from Fan of the Van, my co-host in Cigars and Sports. Bye-bye, Chowderface. Yeah, I'm not going to miss those cutoff hoodies either, Jim. So it is what it is. Look, all jokes aside, it was time. It was definitely time for this to happen. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Just want to throw it out there. It is time for them to be out. So, hey, it is what it is. It's been a good run for Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches in the history of this game. I don't think he's the GOAT after the last 5 years, but he is one of the greatest coaches of all time. So, back to the comments here. They will retire it and use it as a statue. Absolutely. Probably that'll be his statue. A fucked up hoodie with cutoff sleeves, stained with clam chowder, and God knows where else. All right, moving on. I am going to start this off, man, because I haven't given enough props. I've been quiet. Everybody knows how I feel about the Giants winning, because I want them to tank and eventually get rid of this nightmare of Daniel Jones. But, the story has finally gotten to me. All right. The Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets has definitely gotten into me, bro. I finally feel that, let me get invested. All right. It's been a great gimmick. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoy the Cinderella story. Hometown kid, lives at home with his parents. And when I see Tommy DeVito's family in the stands, bro, in the parking lot tailgating, smoking stogies, you know how much of a stogie fan I am, right? And then, of course, also seeing his agent last night, looking like an episode from The Sopranos, a fedora, probably had the shoehorn or the horn, big Italian thing. So it's a great story for the community and the Italian culture here, man. I think the last good Italian football player was it Dan Marino, right? Franco Harris in Pittsburgh. Marino was Italian, right? I guess so. Who was the last good Italian, one of the tough Italian football players, man? Tommy Cutler right now and his family are taking over the football world. And why not? Why not? The kid has won 3 games in a row. He hasn't thrown a pick in the 3 games that he's won in a row, has a few touchdowns. And hey, the Giants has fucked up their whole opportunities to, get a top 5 pick as they are 5-8. He's not doing anything special. He's just not turning the ball over. And the fact that the Green Bay Packers suck and they're shot themselves in the foot by, not winning a winnable game. But Tommy, nothing exciting. 17 for 21, 158 yards, a touchdown. Bailing out Saquon Barkley, who was having a good game, 2 touchdowns, and then had that fumble that created the turnover and gave the opportunity for the Green Bay Packers to actually take a lead. But Tommy showed a lot of poise for a rookie, undrafted, 2 colleges, to make some really clutch throws and put the team in a position to get a game-winning field goal. All right, Wan'Dale Robinson had himself a day, 36 rushing yards and 2 carries, 79 receiving yards, and a very clutch catch there to put the Giants at field goal range. So it's a Cinderella story that's happening, and this should be a story that should be made into a movie. Going to the comments here. Tommy Cutlets, throwing sausage and peppers heroes out there. Why he's Italian. There we go. There it is. Hey, he's Italian. He's definitely Italian, Jim. But honestly, this should be a movie and not a drama. It should be like a comedy. Because when you see his family out there, you know what I'm saying, smoking the stogies in the parking lot, drinking probably, some of that good old stuff. Then you see his agent, bro, looking like, Al Pacino and Donnie Brasco. You know what I'm saying? Like he's about, hey, give her a fucking fasul, right? You know what I mean? Forget about it. When he's explaining the whole forget about it culture. It's great, man. It's a good storyline. Hometown kid, Jersey. The dude looks like he deserves, he belongs. Tommy Cutlet's haircut, right? It looks like he's the guy from, from the Jersey Shore, right? He looks like Paulie D blowout. He has a Paulie D type of blowout, kind of. So it's great. It's great. So DeVito's coming to Fox this fall. Yeah, it should be nice. It should be a comedy, not a full drama. It should be a comedy of a good old Italian family that's just down to earth, family values. They're probably Catholic, all right? And they're out there, eating family Sunday dinner every day after the football games. Shout out to Tommy Cutlets. Hey, it's a good story, man. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. And with that being said, these guys have become one of my go-to TikTok individuals here. They're funny as hell. And they are a Tommy Cutlet. They're a big Tommy Cutlets fan because they're doing a lot of Tommy Cutlet content. So here's my boys from TikTok, Nicky Scarlota, the twins. All right. Let me go ahead and share this right here. Boom. Wait a minute. Boom. Let me play this real quick for you folks.
Listen, all I know is the Giants have been 3-0 since they passed it to the Italians. What are you talking about, Tommy Cutlets? You're talking Tommy Cutlets? He's Italian. The franchise quarterback's finally Italian. He's Italian. Get the cannoli at night in the morning because it's Italian. Listen, all I know is the Giants
guys are
have been
hilarious.
3-0 since they passed
Play it again,
to
17
the
seconds.
Italians. What are you talking about, Tommy Cutlets? You're talking Tommy Cutlets? He's Italian. The franchise quarterback's finally Italian. He's Italian. Get the cannoli at night in the morning because it's Italian. Listen.
Absolutely, brother. Shout out to the Scarlota twins. They keep pumping out content day after day, man. These guys are funny as hell. Check out their TikTok channel. All right, let's move on to some football. Shout out to Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito. The Giants have won a few times already, so it is what it is. All right, let's move on to, honestly, man, staying on the Italian tip, no pun intended, but these Miami Dolphins are so fugazi, it's not even funny. All right, they're fugazi. They haven't beat a over 500 team, and then they decide to throw up a choke job against a team that they should have handily beaten, and they were ahead with like 3 minutes remaining in the Tennessee Titans, and lost at a last-minute play, and they couldn't get back to get into field goal range. So Tua Tagovailoa, with a much slower team, could not do what Tommy Cutlet did earlier that night in getting a team a game-winning drive and engineering a game-winning drive. Tua could not do that. Shout out to Tua. Love Tua. He's my dude. But this Miami team has a lot of holes, man. Has a lot of holes. And it's soft. 240. He did not throw for a touchdown. There was a couple of defensive touchdowns. Great job by Miami. They had it under control. By the way, I lost my parlay because I picked the money line on this game. I wasn't feeling comfortable. I mean, I hit everything else. The over on the game, the Giants +6, and the over the Giants game. All I needed was Miami to just my minus 900 money line that they freaking lost. But the Miami Dolphins are fugazi. They can beat a good team. All right. And they showed it last night. All right. Without Tyreek Hill being explosive because he's banged up. He hurt himself last night and tried to come back. This team is a fucking dud. Jalen Waddle, 6 receptions, 79 yards. It was all in the running game. All in the running game. So this team right now, if they may lose in the first round. I think they're going to lose in the first round because if that is the damn Bills making it in the first round against Miami, it's going to suck, man. It's really going to suck for Miami. They got the Ravens coming up, number 1 team. All right, in the league, and then they don't look great, man. They do not look great at all. The Titans, on the other hand, are playing with house money. I think Will Levis is their starting quarterback at least until next year. Give him another shot. 327, great, impressive game-winning drive. Derrick Henry, 17 carries, even though he averaged like 2 yards per carry, still had 2 clutch touchdowns. Love to mix him with Tyjae Spears. DeAndre Hopkins still has it. He's having a pretty good year, low-key here. At 124 yards, 7 receptions, 12 targets. Tyjae Spears can catch it as well for a running back. All right, Okonkwo. So, yeah, Tennessee ain't doing jack. But, however, they were able to do enough to upset the Miami Dolphins. But this shows you what kind of soft team the Miami Dolphins are. Not great. Not great for the Fins. Not great at all. Let's get back to the comments. Oh, here we go. We need a Hard Knocks version of the DeVitos. You're right. That's probably more entertainment than the Hard Knocks version of the end season of the Dolphins, who are soft as shit. Shout out to my boys, the Millie Goats. Check them out, dude. These guys are great. Fantasy betting, have a top-notch, podcast. Great guys. Check them out. Back to the comments here. As I'm solo today, Cricket couldn't make it. Cricket is actually, man, he is on fire. Head in this whole bowl season. Follow Cricket, the Sports Cricket on Twitter. If you want to make some money during this bowl season. I know. How do you lose to Mayo Boy? Banana peel eating preppy prick. I know. Yeah, the guy looks so preppy, but he looks more like a meathead, like a fraternity boy. You know what I'm saying? Like he belongs to a frat and he's gonna jump through a freaking wall. Shout out to Jim, fan of the band. Check out his podcast. Check out our show every other Friday. So yeah, man. So the Miami Dolphins are fugazi, bro. They're not for real. This loss right here kind of identified, kind of put the nail in the coffin of they're just going to win the division because that division sucks. All right. The Patriots are 2-10. Rodgers winning out of the first place. So, the first player of the year. All right. You got the Bills, turning the ball over every single day and Josh Allen looking unstable here. They got a big win. So it is what it is. Anytime, Millie Goats. You guys rock, bro. Your shit is legit. All right, moving on to the next topic here. And, staying in the AFC East, I know I mentioned the Jets, but they did have, to me, one of the second upset of the week and really destroying the hot Houston Texans and manhandling the rookie who's been, to me, has to be in the MVP talks to 91 yards. They held CJ Stroud to 91 freaking yards, 30-6. If you flip the stats here and you look at Zach Wilson's number, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 301 passing yards, 27 for 36. That is what CJ Stroud been doing all year. And if you look at CJ Stroud's number, which is 10 out of 23 for 91 yards, that's what Wilson's been doing consistently all year long. Wild. Not going to spend too much time, but 30-6. Remember Wilson rumors that when they said, hey, I'm going to make when Robert Saleh said, I'm going to make you the starter. Eventually he said, well, I don't know if I like that. It is what it is. But he came back. It was one of those games that the Jets finally had their best offensive performance of the year. 301 yards by Wilson. He hit some tough throws. Breece Hall only had 40 yards rushing, but Garrett Wilson had 108 yards. Breece Hall had 86 receiving and a touchdown. Even Randall Cobb, baby, corn in a cob here with a a reception and a touchdown, man. This is the guy that Aaron Rodgers wanted there just for moral support. Just supported with a touchdown this week. But 30-6, nothing to see here. 7-6 in the Texans. This AFC is on fire. AFC is going to be tough, man. Those wildcard teams are going to be tough. All right. That AFC North is going to be out of control. Great point, Millie Both. People do forget. I forgot it myself. The Salad knows the Texas OC from San Francisco. That's right. He knows D'Amico Ryan very well. They coach well together. That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. He replaced Salah when he took the head coaching job in the Texans. For the Jets. So good point. Excellent point. What else we got going on over here? Let's move on to the next game here. Let me look at my itinerary here. Staying, what's nuts about here, we have the only reason I'm mentioning this game, the Bucs and the Falcons. It's because right now Tampa Bay has taken sole possession of first place in the NFC South by beating Atlanta, who was in first place. Because this is what I want to call the NFC South is someone has to win it. You got three teams tied up at 6 and 7. The Bucs are in first place because they have the tiebreaker on the Falcons, and the Saints are 6 and 7. It's a complete shit show of a division. We all knew that starting the season, and I thought that the Saints were going to have the better record here, but wow, complete shit show. They are. The Bucs are in it to win it. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Had himself a tough game. They pulled it off, 29-25. Atlanta made a little bit of a comeback here. And right now, this is going to be one of those divisions where you got three teams at 6 and 7 that are going to battle it out week after week. And you're going to see this first place probably change hands for many of these three teams in the next, four remaining games for the season. So at 6 and 7, the dumpster fire division of the NFC South, or like what I like to call it, the NFC South, someone has to win it. Because the team that's going to win it, it's probably going to be 1 or 2 games under 500. Let's go back to the comments. Yes, Jim, NFC South is so mid, no one deserves a playoff spot in that dumpster fire of the division. My God, horror movie over there. Yeah, it is bad. I honestly thought it was going to be the Saints. The Saints have the better team. But they have probably after Ritter, I can't say that. He should be the best quarterback in Derek Carr, but he hasn't shown that this year. Saints should have this division on lock, but it's not happening that way. 6 and 7, 3 teams, and someone's going to win it. Someone has to win it. Someone must win it. There's no choice. Someone actually has to be a division leader who's going to be under 500, probably by 2 games. It is what it is. What are we going on? Move on next. All right. Oh, man. Staying on the AFC, bro. Lamar Jackson and Matthew Stafford went at it on a shootout. OT thriller. All right. Check out our last episode of Cigars and Sports with Jim and E-Man. We had Brandon, a big time Ravens fan, big Lamar Jackson. Give us a nice little insight of why Lamar Jackson should be in the MVP talk. Check out that episode. That was super cool. Great insight. But over here, we definitely have it was a great game, and man, the cylinders, the Ravens are kicking on all cylinders, man. Defensively, offensively, Lamar Jackson is just playing at a nice, composed level. Look, shout out to Matthew Stafford. That team is competing. 294 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kyron Williams has been on fire since back in his injury, just like it was before he got hurt. 114 rushing yards. Cooper Kupp, 115 yards and a touchdown. Nakua with some insane crabs, all right, 84 yards and 5 receptions. It was just a really, really tough game. Lamar Jackson, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, threw a pick, but he also had 70 yards on the ground. All right, Lamar has been playing on an MVP level, probably not as noticeable as the other individuals, but low-key, he's been killing it. He has been killing it. All right, let's see here. Yep, the committee should lose their minds over this division. That's true. That is true. That's pretty funny, bro. College football. That's true, man. They should lose their mind over this division. It's pretty bad. Again, it's the someone has to win the division motto for this right here. But yeah, man, Lamar Jackson, man. Look, he's not being asked to do too much this season. Has a great day. And right now, what's working for them is, look, we know Zay Flowers is the guy. Big difference. And all of a sudden now, Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ, has had 3 touchdowns in the last 5 games. This game alone had 4 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown. So OBJ is becoming a factor, all right? And is another weapon that Lamar never had before with Zay Flowers and then Mark Andrews when he gets back. Isaiah Likely, who is a really darn good backup tight end, had himself a day as well. All right. He was the second highest receiver here with 83 yards. So Isaiah Likely had a touchdown. OBJ had a touchdown. Zay Flower had a touchdown. He spread the ball really, really well. All right. So he has weapons this year. And that defense is so good that you don't have to rely on just Lamar Jackson's athletic ability and just doing what he's supposed to be doing. But with that being said, staying on this game, my guy Lamar Jackson, all right, is my GOAT of the week.
Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Don't cross that line. Go.
Bro, you got to make him the GOAT of the week, man. Like I mentioned earlier, 316 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, had 11 carries and 70 yards on the ground. Ravens have the number 1 seed right now in the AFC. Best record in the AFC at 10-3. They look like the team to beat and are probably looking prime to catch that bye week. What else? You cannot have a better week than that and win a big game to put your team at top of that of the AFC conference. All right, you can. He's the man, bro, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him because he finally has some help. Doesn't have to do everything himself. So, shout out to Lamar Jackson. Rivalry Sports Podcast. Yeah, right now I think it's time to put him in the conversation. We spoke about this on detail last Saturday on Cigars and Sport with Jim and a guest, Brandon. So check out that and you get a lot more details. But yeah, he deserves it. Yep, Lamar had 43 total touchdowns in his MVP season. That's true. He only has 21 total this year. Pretty for MVP. Yeah, I know. AK is a big 49er fan. Yeah, we actually got to talk about MVPs, man. We're going to hit the odds. Who are the favorites right now in Vegas? We're going to hit that towards the end of the show. Purdy deserves to be in the conversation as well. Yeah, but Lamar's doing his thing, man. I mean, they're 10-3. Yeah, you also got to put Purdy in the conversation. He's doing awesome. So, all right, what do we got next? But he's definitely the GOAT of the week. I've had Purdy on the GOAT of the week conversation too, there, AK. So I spread the love. What do we have? What do we got next right here? Moving on. Well, now that you mentioned it, AK, let's stick the Millie Goats. Let's stick with the 49ers, man. The 49ers are on fire since a 3-game losing streak. Since Debo has gone back, he's been a man. Since Debo came back from injury, he's been a man on a tear. And Brock Purdy and Debo Samuels have been one. This connection has been on fire. Debo has like 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games? Hold on a second. I gotta forget about the stats for the Seahawks, man. They suck. I mean, they made it a game. But let's start with Brock Purdy. 2 touchdowns, 368 passing yards, back-to-back 300 games. McCaffrey, 145 yards. Another guy should be in the MVP conversation, McCaffrey and Purdy. Debo Samuel had a touchdown. All right. Debo also had a rushing touchdown. This guy has 5 touchdowns in the last few games, have gone over 120 yards both games. Debo right now, it's hot. And Debo is a key factor for this offense. All right. It's a key factor for this offense. I mean, yeah, it's Homer's shape, but bro, they are the best team in the NFL. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Ravens and 49ers, the 2 best teams in the NFL. Absolutely. After Dallas slapping around, and we're going to get to that, the Eagles. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I definitely agree with that, Rivalry Sports. Absolutely. And let me keep with the comments here. See, the Super Bowl logo have purple and red in it. The colors haven't missed in 5 years. We'll see about that if that is a true assumption here, and it does happen in reality. But again, Debo and Brock Purdy are locked. And Debo is a very important key and piece of this offense, as important as McCaffrey, because he could do it all. It's hard to prep for an offense when you have a guy like Debo, but you don't know what he's going to do. He's going to receive the football. They got to do jet sweeps around him, or just line him up as a running back next to McCaffrey in the backfield. It is wild, man. I mean, they got two of the top two candidates right now, the 49ers do. And Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. They should be, both guys are in the conversation. They should be, right? And since the last three games, since the last winnings in the losing streak, since the 49ers haven't lost a game since their bye week, when they came back from that losing streak. So Purdy and Debo, man, that connection has been on fire through the last two games. So it is what it is. You got to give them props. And talking about props, man, I can't believe it. The only reason why I'm going to mention this next game here, all right, it's because how the hell is freaking Joe Flacco out here, freshly out of his 55 and over community, playing back-to-back games, delivering a win against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this freaking guy has 5 touchdowns in his 2 games that he started after coming back from, whatever the hell he was doing. Playing in the clubhouse Parcheesi or chess. But this is insane. 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, 38 years old. They slap around the Jags, who are limping right now. Jeez, man, the Cleveland Browns keep freaking coming up with ways to win. And again, I don't know why the Jets never made this phone call before the Cleveland Browns did to Joe Flacco. That's the story of the game, is Joe. Joe Flacco is back, boys and girls. 5 tutties, man, in 2 games. I'm with you on 100%. When Debo, CMC, and Trent Williams all play, the Niners haven't lost a game when Purdy starts. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Because that's what happens in the bye week. So, yep. Hey, everybody, note this down, bro. They recommended playing Flacco in DraftKings last week. Yeah, I missed the tournament. I'm sorry. I completely forgot. I was at Universal Studios, Florida. Came back and everything was wild. Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Joe Flacco right now is slinging that pill. I mean, he has 5 freaking touchdowns in 2 games, man, since his return. It is wild that Joe Flacco can still just throw the football. I mean, he's playing like careless, carefree. I'm sorry, just doing what he does. Veteran quarterback. He's still going to make an interception here and there, but geez, it's a nice story right up there with tummy cutlets. You know what I mean? Now, even though Njoku had a monster game, 2 touchdowns, 91 receiving yards, 77 for Amari Cooper, even Elijah Moore it's getting some burn here. Jerome Ford. We had a rushing touchdown by Kareem Hunt. That's her weakness right there, the running game. But I think Flacco is going to keep this team competitively, and it's kind of bad news for the AFC North. So, sucks. Sorry, Jim. But Flacco is a better quarterback than probably all 3 combined right now. Well, the 2 backups that you have. It's just unreal. Unreal. What are we moving on to right now? And you know what? Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills winning a much-needed road win and handing the Chiefs back-to-back losses for the first time, all right, since week 2 and 3 of the 2021 season. And of course, Patrick Mahomes wasn't happy because of the offside calls on Kadarius Toney, which he was offside, by the way, after they review it. Kadarius Toney's a fucking moron. I am so glad we traded him, and we used that pick that we traded him for, all right, to get Waller. And even Waller has played like 5 or 6 games. He still was a better option. And I don't care if he's not going to play for the rest of the season. I could care less. Still a better pickup, and paid off trading Kadarius Toney. So again, look, man, I know Patrick Mahomes has to be frustrated, dude. They have like a really, really poor man's offense. Not because of him, but when you got Toney freaking not catching passes, I think the whole team has like 33 drops. I'm forgetting how many games. It's ridiculous. Travis Kelce Rashee Rice is the only bright spot here in Travis Kelce, and Kelce has lost a step or 2. I'm glad that he lost finally with his girlfriend on the damn tube, because hopefully she won't show up to any more games. But Rashee Rice is the only bright spot here with Kelce. Everything else just looks look at this, man. It's like so disheveled, disorganized. And, he's frustrated because that was a win that they needed in order to keep pace in the AFC. The 8-5, they're going to end up getting a lower seed. The good news is they face Miami. They'll be able to beat Miami handily. But, yeah, man, I mean, Josh Allen had himself a mediocre game, a touchdown or interception, rush for another touchdown. They're just going to grind, man. James Cook had an awesome game, 83 receiving yards. Also had 58 rushing yards. I like the way they started to use Cook a little more. They should have kind of like incorporated him this way in the actual in the offense a little more from the get go. Maybe the Bills would have a couple of more wins. The Browns put him back on the practice squad. The Vikings should sign him just to mess with Cleveland. That's true. That is true. That would be insane. Imagine that. That actually is not a bad idea. Anyway, getting back to the Patriots. I mean to the Bills here. Look, they're gonna shuffle. They're gonna hustle. And what's crazy about this is that if the Bills play the Dolphins in the first round, I think the Bills are gonna beat them. The Dolphins are so fugazi. They're so fugazi, man, that it's just gonna suck. Staying with the AFC, man. Let's take a look at this AFC picture here. Let me move my slide here. Oops, there we go. Oh man, I thought I had the AFC. I thought I had. Never mind. So the AFC right now, I thought I had. Let me just bring this down. The AFC picture right now looks tight, man. You have a lot of teams. Denver Broncos at 7-6. The Bills are 7-6. I forget which were the others. I thought I had that graphic with me. They are all right now, really, really battling. Let me just pull it up on my phone so you know what the hell I'm talking about here. Give me 1 second. But I had that graphic up in my slides here, but I didn't. Yeah. So here's the AFC picture. Sorry about that, folks, for the hiccup here. You got the Baltimore Ravens at the top seed. Miami is number 2 seed. Right now, Kansas City is at 3, and Jacksonville is at 4. They're probably going to win the division. But then you have wild cards, right? If the season ended today, the Cleveland Browns at 8-5, Pittsburgh at 7-6, and Indianapolis at 7-6. In the hunt, Houston 7-6, Denver 7-6, Cincinnati with the reawakening of Browning here, playing like a man possessed. Buffalo at 7-6. Any of these teams at 7-6, I think could beat Miami in a first round matchup. It is what it is. I you know what? I don't disagree with you. AK. Dolphins are the Cowboys of the AFC. Right now, that's what they're proving. All that talent, all that offense, and can win the big one. Cannot win the big one. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tight picture, man. In the hunt, you got 4 teams at 7-6 that could make it at any time. So this is going to be a dogfight all the way to the end of the year. All right? It's going to be a dogfight to the end of the year. Let me tell you, those 8-5 seeds, right? Those 8-5 teams, Kansas City and the Jags, in 4 games, anything could happen. So it's a dogfight. I think Baltimore is going to definitely, run away with it because I think Miami has to face the Ravens. I forget what other matchups. They could lose 2 games. They could absolutely lose 2 games here. The Dolphins, they could finish 11-5. It is what it is. And talking about another dogfight here, man. Sunday night, the Dallas Cowboys, man. Not a fan, but gotta give them respect. Dak is playing at another level right now. He's playing at another level right now, MVP status level. They give the Eagles back-to-back losses after San Francisco handed their asses to them, and then Dallas did the same thing. I mean, they came out firing on all cylinders. Dak Prescott took a swing and punched him in the mouth early with a quick touchdown, and then never looked back. Tony Pollard, again, 59 yards, but it's just spreading the football. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, touchdown, first touchdown of the game. Michael Gallup, appearance of Michael Gallup. Brandon Cooks was not as involved this time around as the last time, but Tony Pollard had himself 8 targets in this game, 7 receptions. They are looking from ways in the offense. They're calling a pretty decent offense scheme here. McCarthy may not get fired. McCarthy may not get fired here. So it is what it is. Let me see. Go to Beverly Sports. No one knows the Dolphins defense is bad. Yeah, I mean they had a couple of good performances before the Titans game, and then because they forced a couple of turnovers as well. So it is what it is. See what they got here. Yep, they play Buffalo and Dallas. Yep, that's tough. Buffalo and Dallas, and of course the Ravens are included in that. So Miami, Miami, they may make the playoffs, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see what Buffalo does. I think it's going to be a thing if Buffalo gets hot and Miami gets cold, because I don't think they could beat Dallas. Maybe they'll beat Buffalo for the second time around, because they lost to them at the beginning of the year. But two very possible losses there, AK. So yeah, shout out. Thank you for. I didn't have the schedule in front of me, but I appreciate that. Yep, yeah, they could finish 11-5. Don't be surprised. They could finish 10-7. It is what it is. But going back to the defense, yeah, the defense had a couple of turnovers in this game, but it doesn't mean anything when you lose to a guy that loves to put mayonnaise on his coffee. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, yeah, look at that, man. Oh, look at all the love, bro. Everybody subbing to each other's channel. Awesome. Go ahead and sub to Millie Goat there, Reverie. He's you want to talk about fantasy and betting? Great source, my man. Great source right here. You won't be disappointed. But yeah, going back to the Eagles, from the Eagles standpoint, I think Jalen's banged up. There's no doubt about it. And the blueprint on beating the Philadelphia Eagles is out, right? Everybody knows it, that if you stop the run, you get ahead and prevent the run, the Eagles struggle. The Eagles offense struggle because you force Jalen to do what he's not very comfortable with, which is passing the football at a high rate. All right? You got to make him attempt, force him to pass. That's pretty much it. And that's how you beat the Eagles. Eliminate the run, make them play from behind. Because there was 7-zip, and it was like after that, they never looked back. 10-3. Both teams have won at each other's place. So, they lost to each other. So let's see what happens here. Dallas right now is looking good, man. Dak is on a fucking heater. I hate to say that, but he is. He is such on a heater right now. It's not even funny. All right, let me see what we got. That was Sunday night. Let's talk some MVP odds, man. Let me pull up the odds for, on behalf of the Action Network, let's take a look at the Vegas odds for MVP, NFL betting futures odds, okay, for the MVP here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. See what we got. Let me go ahead and move this out of the way here. Let me share the next ones. Let's take a look. This is the NFL Vegas MVP odds right now. Who's in the run? And we're going to talk a little bit of betting here because there's some value here for some possible individuals here. So, let me see. So I apologize here, guys. I'm trying to darn it. Let me go ahead and change. We change screens here, boys and girls. Technical difficulties here, but I'm about to get it. There you go. There you go. Screen. Let me share my screen real quick. There you go. NFL futures MVP odds, my friends. Let me see here. Oh, shoot. Way. I don't want the Super Bowl, damn it. I want the MVP odds. Darn it. By the way, AK, your 49ers are now favorite plus 250. Ravens plus 600. All right, Dak Prescott has taken over the odds-on favorite for the MVP according to the betting future odds here. All right, plus 150. Purdy plus 175. We should have taken Purdy a little earlier. Lamar now plus 500. Jalen plus 800. Tyreek Hill plus 1,600. Which I'm big on Tyreek Hill let's see how this injury affects him. Because I thought if he would break 2,000 receiving yards and all the touchdowns he has, you got to give it to him. Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, these are all out on his favorite. Now, this is the crazy part right here. McCaffrey plus 4,000 and CJ Stroud plus 8,000. I like the McCaffrey pick. McCaffrey, we got different areas here, plus 4,000 on DraftKings. All right. Hey, FanDuel plus 5,000. So I like the odds. I like McCaffrey, man. I'm gonna throw some coin in McCaffrey this week before he changes. I like those odds on McCaffrey. So yeah. I mean, plus, what do you think, AK? What do you think of the odds of McCaffrey over the MVP, man? I love it. I like those odds, baby. I'm gonna throw some coin in there. But yeah, brother, that's I'm cool with that. I'm all over that shit. I think that's really high. That's great value. I mean, McCaffrey right now, if you think about it, McCaffrey has to do it. He's had one hell of a season. He almost scored a touchdown in the first drive with that 75-yard run. So don't tell me in a year that we don't have a clear-cut MVP, that McCaffrey cannot be a guy that wins the MVP, a running back. All right, because he is on fire. McCaffrey has been killing it. Has been freaking killing it. All right. This guy this year has been on a freaking tear. He's played 13 games. Has a shitload of touchdowns. I think he might be tied. No, he actually I think Mostert might have gone up one over him because he scored 2 touchdowns. But he has like 18 touchdowns on the ground. Some receiving. I don't have the stats in front of me. But he is having a hell of a season. Has already over 1,100, almost 1,200 rushing yards, if I'm not mistaken. All right, 12 touchdowns, 52 receptions. Here you go. 437 yards receiving. Has 17 total touchdowns because he has 5 receiving touchdowns and 12 rushing touchdowns. 11. I mean, he's gonna break. He could break over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Very possible. So don't tell me, man, that McCaffrey cannot be an MVP winner. And a 4,000, your boy's probably gonna bet that after I'm done here talking to everybody. So, absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, there we go. I think it's. He could break all. He could have 4,000, 2,000 all-purpose yards from scrimmage. Yeah, like McCaffrey. So yeah. All right. That's true. Oh, Debo's out for MVP. Okay. Let's see if let me see if Debo's in there somewhere. I don't think Debo is here anywhere, but shoot. If Debo's probably way down here, man. So we could see. You're right. That's not a bad idea to throw $5 on Debo and see what happens. But yeah, I like McCaffrey 4,000. All right. So anyway, with that being said, guys, let's get back here to the last segment of the show. All right, which I like to call the loser of the week. And let me cue the intro here for the loser of the week.
Loser. Le who? The her.
Listen, loser of the week has to be probably one of the worst games you've ever seen in your life, which is the Minnesota Vikings and the Raiders. Vikings win 3-0. The lowest scoring game in the NFL since 2007. All right. A complete shit show. I don't know who the hell, what happened here. But Nick Mullins have replaced the Cinderella story no longer, which is Joshua Dobbs. That's now Tommy DeVito. They're definitely our loser of the week. Unreal. I don't think I've ever seen a dumpster fire this bad at all. I don't think I've ever seen a dumpster fire this bad like this game. I thought that the 6-0 win, all right, by the Chargers a couple of weeks ago. All right, 6-0 win against the Patriots was bad. This was 1,000 times worse. My loser of the week are both the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Las Vegas Raider. Unfucking real. We go here. Loser of the week is Chase Daniel for retiring when all the backups QBs are playing. That's right. It's his time to shine, man. Chase could have definitely done some love there, brother. He would have gotten some love. Unreal. Well, pretty much that's what I got for today. Again, follow me on Twitter, Joe's _talk.com. I mean, Joe's underscore talk at Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Go live week. Check out my other show, Sports and Cigars and Sports with Jim and E-Man, of course. And just check me out. I appreciate everybody. Thank you, Ravery Sports. Millie Goats, appreciate you, AK. Thank you, brother. It's always a blast having people on. I love the interaction, man. We are getting more and more interaction week after week. I appreciate the support. Thank you for everybody that watches, and then everybody that listens to it when I put it on the audio platform. Shout out everybody, and thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast signing out. Peace.
Yo!